Cloud. All right, fantastic. Well, good morning and welcome to our virtual Bloomfield Business networking event for the month of August. As a reminder, this will be recorded and we'll provide the recording afterwards as well. My name is Kevin Palacci. I'm with a volunteer with the Bloomfield Chamber now. I used to be on the board for many years. I'm just kind of volunteering with the Bloomfield Chamber, advocate of the Bloomfield Chamber, as well as the regional vice president with Legal Shield for upstate New York and New England as well. So this event typically runs for an hour or less. And we've had various topics in the past. We're always open to additional topics. I know before we actually started recording, we're talking about AI because it seems to be everywhere now, right? So how you can maybe utilize AI to help you to build your respective businesses. But we've had other topics that we could all obviously use and benefit from, for everything from customer service, goal setting for your business, networking etiquette, which now we know is networking etiquette, not just in person, but there's virtual, for those who are still doing a lot of virtual networking events, utilizing social media for your business, using videos, time management, life. Work balance. So I know, especially as business owners, we could let our work consume us, right? If we're not careful. And then even like leadership development, all that, are some of the topics that we've had in the past. And so today's guest speaker we're going to hear from in a few seconds is Miss Patrina Dixon. Is no stranger to us. I know typically we've had in the past, like once a year, have an opportunity to hear from Patrina, sharing with us tips on how to get more money, right?
Hey.
Which you could all use more money, right? And we'll go around, we'll do our intros. So you give them an opportunity to share information about your respective businesses, talk a little about what we do with Legal Shield and ID Shield. We have a tentative date set for our next event as well. And then some, we'll stop the recording at that point and do some open networking if folks have anything additional they'd like to share with the group. So let's introduce our guest speaker for today, Ms. Patrina Dixon. Patrina is a registered financial consultant, certified financial education instructor, and the CEO of It's My Money. And you got to say it with excitement. It's my money.
It's my money, yes.
She's a two-time #1 best-selling author, best known for It's My Money, a guided journal to help you manage your finances. Patrina has been featured in Black Enterprise, Yahoo Finance, Real Simple, Business Insider, and on Fox 61. She has educated thousands of people across the U.S. and internationally on money management skills such as budgeting, saving, credit, and entrepreneurship. She's also the founder of a growing community that connects thousands of small business owners with grant opportunities and live monthly training sessions. Patrina holds a financial management certificate from Cornell, attended the University of Hartford's Barney School of Business, and is a proud alumni of the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women in Business program. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and turn it over. Let me stop the share screen. We'll turn it over to Miss Patrina Dixon.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, let's see. All right, is it up on the
Yeah, it's in
screen? Okay,
presentation mode now. Yeah.
great. Great. Okay, cool. So good morning. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to see those of you that I do know that took your time out of your morning today to join. Kevin did my bio, so I won't read again the bio except for the very last point at the bottom here, which is I am the creator of grants for small business owners. Plus, I love that headshot. So every time I get to share it, it's awesome that when I can do that. So the reason why it's important for you to know that I'm also the creator of grants for small business owners and why I did it is because during a time when my business was slower in receiving in money and or capital, so revenue from jobs or capital from other ways, I started applying for a lot of loans. A lot of grants. And this was particularly during the time when a lot of us were experiencing a downslide during COVID. So grants actually helped sustain my business during that time. So I would share with those of you, the folks that follow me, that's how I was getting some of the money in to be able to sustain my business. That is somebody that I know. So I created grants for small business owners to help other people learn about grant opportunities and how they can make themselves and their business more eligible to receive grants and where they can find grants. So that's why I created it. And I'm going to share a little bit with you on what grants are and how you can find grant opportunities for your business. So what I'm going to cover in this session is what grants are, how can grants help you in your business, tips to prepare for your application, and where you can find grant opportunities. So a little bit of what I just stated. So what are grants, right? Some people don't even know what they are. And a lot of people think they are government bound. There are grants that you can get by way of the government, and those applications and the process for that is way more involved. I don't like to use the word complicated. Some people think they're complicated. I'm just going to say very more involved than grants that I'm referring to that are available from organizations for a myriad of reasons. There's grants from nonprofits, grants from businesses, grants from people, grants from companies, various different grants that these organizations, these people, these nonprofits make them available for purposes of funds that they want to see businesses grow in, depending on what the business is, who the business serves. That's what grant dollars are. And the most beautiful thing about grants, you don't have to pay it back. So let me say it one more time. Grants are ways you can fund your business that you do not need to pay back. So does that mean you shouldn't get loans? You shouldn't have credit cards for your business? That does not mean that, because I'm a proponent of you need various different ways, depending on your type of business, to have capital coming in. This is another way that you can support your business or get capital through grant opportunities. I encourage people to apply for grants regularly, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I'm going to say it one more time. Grants are funds that you can get for your business, providing you're eligible, that you do not need to pay back. So it doesn't hurt to always apply. And let's talk about how grants can help your business before we can go into why you should apply. So these are examples of how grants can help your business. It can cover administrative costs, business expenses, funding research projects, and beautifying storefronts. For example, if you have a storefront and you don't have an awning, it can help with that. Marketing and promotional activities, infrastructure upgrades, a myriad of things tied to your business. And here's where I always share with folks, don't always go for the $10,000, $25,000 grants. Those are great. That is when the grant applications are a bit more involved. You can get a $250 grant, a $500 grant, a $1,000 grant, and get 3 to 4 to 5 of those, and those will begin to add up. How many people know, and you don't have to raise your hand, maybe I'll do it for you. You can use $250 to fund a contractor that you may need for some marketing for. You can use $1,000 maybe to get a device that you need, maybe a laptop, maybe an iPad, whatever it may be. How many know that maybe if you have a phone that's specific for your business, you can get $1,000 to pay, the phone bill for a year. So think about grant opportunities in many different ways, not just for that big item. What are those reoccurring costs that you have to run your business that a $250, $500, $1,000 grant can help with if you got that in. So really important to understand it from that perspective. A grant application. So these are tips to prepare you to complete a grant application. I encourage those that I work with to kind of get this stuff ready and done before you start applying. Because some applications will allow you to start them, save them, and finish, but not all of them will do that. So it's important to get some of this stuff ready before you begin applying. Now, not all, I know that person too, Kevin. Not all not all grant applications will call for all of these things, but a lot of them will call for many of these things. So these are what I'll call the primary things that a grant application will ask for. So if you are in business, hopefully you have decided on a structure for your business like LLC, S Corp, whatever your business structure is. That's what the business structure is. And if you follow me at all, I encourage business owners to have a business bank account and not use your personal account for your business transactions. When you are awarded, because I'm going to grant that you all are going to, I'm going to claim that for you all that you apply for a grant and that you are awarded grant dollars. They are not going to put it in Cash App. So please know that you need a business bank account if you are awarded a grant to get the dollars in. So ensure that you set up a business bank account. There are plenty places, even in Connecticut, that I know you can open a business bank account with a small dollar amount. You do want to be mindful of what the minimum is that you need to have in there a month, so that your deposit is not being eaten up by that. But you want to make sure that you understand all of that for the bank that you do choose, but ensure that you have a business bank account, because that is how they're going to send you the money. They will not ask for your business bank account. Most of them will not ask for your business bank account right up front. But if you were awarded dollars, that's how they would send it to you. The other thing I encourage you to do is do a 60-second video. And when I say 60 seconds, I'm not talking 90 seconds and I'm not talking 10 seconds. Do a 60-second video. I'd rather you be at 55 seconds than 65 seconds. Most of them ask for 60-second videos, the ones that ask for videos, not all ask for videos. It's important that you do this before you complete an application. Why I say that, and I'm telling you from my own experience, you will do 25 takes to get it to 60 seconds. So if you do it, get your hair done, do your face if that's what you need to do, whatever it is, do it when you're more relaxed. Nobody knows your business better than you know your business. Nobody knows who you serve better than you know who you serve. So what should be in the business? And please don't make this mistake, because a lot of people do. Make sure you say your name and your business. Some people do their videos and they do one or the other. Make sure you say who you are, the business name, what your business does, or who it serves, and what you would do with the grant dollars, so that you have that ready. Because more times than not, the video that if they ask for a video, because not all do, but when they do, those are the four components that they're looking for in the business. So I, again, and don't go out and pay somebody, a videographer. You don't need it professional like that. You can do it yourself on your phone. I would have good lighting. I would have a nice background. If you have, say you're a baker and you want to put your baker's hat on or chef hat on, if you're a chef, that's fine to do. I often do mine. I know that person. I often do mine in my It's My Money shirt. I'll have a background that say It's My Money. If whatever that aligns to your business that would bode well to be in the video, go ahead and do it. There are some that will say no props, right? So you have to make sure, if you did have a prop in your video that you've done some time ago and you're about to put it to that application, ensure that you don't have any props. So maybe do two versions of the video or something like that. And let me say this point here too. You must ensure that you meet the eligibility for a grant application. And please do not look for, like, say, I have a financial education firm. I'm not looking for grants for financial education firm only. I'm also a Black person. I'm a Black woman. I live in Florida. I have a business line in Connecticut. All the things that I have, I look for grants for all of that. So it may not be for your industry, but if you are, Kevin is a Black man, if it says Black men, but it doesn't say Black men that own legal show business, it may just say Black men. So then therefore he can apply for that. It may say Black men that also service people. You could let her in. It also may say Black men that service people that help do services that help with their well-being. That is something that he would also it would be appropriate for him. I think I know her too. That would be something that is appropriate for him to apply for as well. So you want to make sure that you look at the eligibility in its full detail and not down to the niche industry level. Okay, business financial documents. This is another thing that they may ask for. Most times, this is not asked for upfront for a grant that's under $1,000. When you get over 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, etc., they will ask for the following financial documents: your P&L, so profit and loss statement, a bank statement to prove you have a business bank account, and your Schedule C or whatever schedule you have based on the type of business that you have. So at a bare minimum, it's those three documents are the financial documents that they will look for. There are some, again, when they're larger, grant opportunities will ask you for projections, but most of them will share with you a document that you can do your projections in. It's really like an Excel spreadsheet that when you populate it, it begins to add stuff for you. And that is just, okay, you're in business today. This grant money is going to pour fuel on your grant or on your business so that you could grow or scale. And how much do you think you will make if you get this grant in the next year? In the next 6 months, in the next 2 years, whatever it is. So they want you to have some thought about that and say, complete this projection. That definitely is not something under 10,000 you'll get that. For a grant for 10,000 plus, you may get something like that as well. Again, most of them will supply you with the projection document that they want you to complete. Okay. Eligibility is very important. And this next bullet point is very important. Don't miss the deadline. There are thousands of people that are applying for grants. I'm trying to encourage thousands more to apply. They are not waiting for you. So if it's important and you're trying to get this money and it says that you need to complete it by August 29th, complete it by August 29th. As a matter of fact, complete it well before the 29th. Because I have seen grants say, unfortunately, we're unable to take any more. More people applied than we expected. So I'm closing it down. I have heard business owners say, but that's not fair. It's their money. Remember that. They can do that if they want to do that. Now, that doesn't happen often, but I have seen that happen. So, as soon as you know about the opportunity, budget your time to sit down and complete the application. Here, most people ask me, how long does it take to complete? It depends on the application. I've literally been in the car while my husband is driving on my phone, completed several grant applications during a ride that we would have to go somewhere. And that ride could be an hour, could be 2 hours. I've completed that. I've thought about the application, pulled it up on my phone, completed it within 20 to 30 minutes of that drive. Some applications take a full hour. So I always suggest people pick a grant day. Wednesday is my grant day. Saturday is my grant day. And put it on your calendar, just like you put this on your calendar to come to this session today. I encourage the completion of a grant once a week. Some people say that's a lot. Is it a lot to try to get grant dollars for your business that you don't have to pay back? And remember, you're not going to get approved for every grant application that you complete. So the more you complete, the more opportunity you have for them to say yes. Okay, not that one grant person to say yes, but as many as you complete, there's more opportunities for somebody to say yes. And the more you complete, the more you get comfortable with doing it. There are people that can do it on your behalf. If you need that, you can let me know, but nobody knows your business more than you. Every grant that I got approved for my business or got the wonderful opportunity to get dollars from the application, I completed it. Nobody can talk about my business or write about it better than I can. I talked about business projections already, and then headshots. So you see me using that headshot that Kevin had on the screen, the one I had on the screen. That headshot was from some time ago. So if you already have one, use it. If you want to do a new one and could put that expense into your business to have that done, then do it. But they're not looking for, oh, who has the most professional headshot? They're just looking for who is this person. And because remember, not all ask for videos, and maybe the headshot they ask for versus the video. So have one that you like, that you're comfortable with, that's not a selfie. Okay, not a selfie. Can it be taken with a cell phone? Yes, but not you taking it. Have it, or unless you have a light and you have a button where you could take it yourself, but not where it's looking like you're taking it of yourself. That's not the way you want to do it. Now, if your business requires business certifications, then you want to make sure that you have that. Not all require that. So, like if you're a plumber or if you're an electrician, that's a good one. They need a certification for the work that they do. You want to make sure that you have it. Not all require business plans, but it doesn't hurt to have a business plan. I was in business for several years before I had a business plan and applied for grants. So it's not something that all ask for. But again, as you get past the $5,000 mark of a grant you're applying for, that's when some of this stuff come into play. And then again, set a day and time and do it weekly. do it weekly. It's 52 weeks in a year, 52 weeks, 52 applications may land you in five, and five could be really good for your business. But if you do once a month, which is 12, then maybe you get one. And that one can still be great, but you increase your opportunities by the number of times you apply. So you may say, okay, Patrina, now I want to do this, right? Where do I go? These are some places that you can go and get grants. So Small Business Administration grant opportunities. I know her too. You can let her in. Grant opportunities. So SBA, and you can use your friend Google. I should put Chat GPT on the page as well. Or you can come to Grants for Small Business Owners. That is grantsforsmallbusinessowners.com. That is where my team and I curate grants for those that are subscribed. You can subscribe for free. We drop a list the 15th of every month. And those top three are where you're going to get those what I want to call easier grants, not a robust grant opportunity, not a robust application. Some of those grants are as small as 250, some are as large as 25,000. So there's a lot. And then you have grants.gov. That's when you want to work with the government. So you know a lot of stuff is going to be asked for. But there's tons of other grant opportunities that's not government bound, that you fit their requirements, complete it on time, give them what they're asking for, and you'll get a response. Most of them will let you know if you are going to get the grant, or let you know that you didn't get the grant. And so I track those. I have a tracker that I put, okay, this is the one I applied. This is one I didn't. I'm going to skip over this page. This is the one I did not
I
apply
have to
for.
give a shout out to
I want you to hear
Patrina
this video real quick.
And it is because of her that I learned about applying for grants. So I'm a small business owner, and I wanted to share this information with you because maybe you never applied for a grant, just like I never did. And I just never thought about it. Patrina was on my podcast and we were chatting it up, and she happened to mention that she had this program where she teaches business owners about applying for grants. And it's a simple program, very inexpensive. And I was like, oh, well, I've never applied for a grant. Let me check this out. And because of her, I learned obviously how to apply for a grant. She every single month will even put information about new grants that you can apply for. It really makes it easy. And I'm so excited to share that I received my first ever grant. And more to come about that. I'm super excited, but this is a shout out to Patrina. Because of your program, I never even knew, I never thought about it. And because of you, I took that step to start learning, and now I've received this award. It is because of your program, 100%. I would have never even thought about it. And so you have impacted not only my life, but a lot of other people's lives that I will be teaching healthy credit to. And I owe it all to you. So thank you so much. If you're a small business owner, check out Patrina Dixon.
I love that video. That woman had been in business for, I think, 11 years. Her name is Jeannie Kelly. She lived, where she lives is irrelevant, but she didn't think it was possible. She thought it was all a hoax. That's why I showed that video, because she's like, let me just try it. She happens to be in another one of my programs that where there is a nominal cost to be a part of. You don't have to pay to get the grants that I've talked about. But if you wanted to, we also do live sessions similarly to like you're in today. And we teach you about all of these things that will help you, because bank documents, a lot of people don't know about them, don't know what they are. So we walk you through how to do them yourself or resources to go and get them. So these are some of the live sessions that we do when you do are in the group at a paid level, which you don't have to be to get grant opportunities. So grants for smallbusinessowners.com. This is a QR code for it, or you can go to put it in your URL, grants for smallbusinessowners.com. And then, like I said, you can subscribe to get the list the 15th of every month. Right now, we're already past the 15th. So the list that we dropped this August 15th, you will still have access to. So that's one way that you can get grant opportunities. There's a ton of other ways that I shared with you. Google can be your best friend. The reason why our list is amazing to be on the list, because we do all that searching for you. Like, we're going to Google, we're going to all of these places. When people join us, they normally say, okay, I have this type of business. Here's where I'm located. And that helps us to curate the list to fit the people that are on our list versus just being another Google. We are not another Google because we go to Google and the other places to make the list more refined for those that are on our list. So if you're interested in that opportunity, you can hit this QR code or go to grantsforsmallbusinessowners.com, and you will begin getting the future list, and you can go back and look at the other list. All right, so let me come off of sharing so I can see if there are any questions. Kevin, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Okay.
here. Phenomenal job with the
Thank you.
overview. And we'll open up for one or two questions for folks here on the Zoom live with us. And I definitely appreciate you sharing this topic, because you're absolutely right. Like when you hear the word grants or grants, I always think of nonprofit organizations automatically, right? It doesn't even enter into my mind if you get kind of not necessarily free money, right? I'm sure you got to you got to put in the work to get there. But yeah, to be able to get that additional assistance that we oftentimes need as a small business owner. So I'm glad that you made that clear, that we do have the opportunity to be able to get additional funds to build, especially our traditional businesses. So let's open up for any questions. And I had one question I guess I could ask, but
Okay.
let me give Jeannie a chance first.
Okay. When you mentioned needing a business bank account, I wonder, could that include a credit union account?
If it's for your business, yes. Not a credit union account that is your personal account, but if
Right.
you have established a business bank account if you establish an account for your business at a credit union, that's fine. As
Uh,
long as it is for the business. Yes. That's
Perfect.
absolutely fine.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
then,
And let
and
me make this point real quick, Kevin, before your question. The other thing, because I forgot to say this earlier, part of the eligibility will tell you how long you need to be in business, because I do get that question a lot. Well, what if I'm new in business? Sometimes the grants are for new business owners. So if you're in business only for 6 months, that type of business, they're not going to ask you for a tax return because they know you haven't had one. So again, you have to read the eligibility, because some will say you got to be in business for 3 years. Some say starting off new because they want to again pour money into that business to get growing, but they just want to know what your idea is to grow the business. Okay, go ahead, Kevin. What your question?
awesome. Yeah, and one of the questions was going to be like just giving some examples um of ways that you could use the grant money, or reasons why you would get grant money. So I know you had actually gave a short list as you went through. You're talking about like if you need to buy a new laptop, pay for your phone bill specific to your business. So just and then, like say if you did like workshops. I know like one of I haven't mentioned to you, but I have like a business specifically on doing like workshops and seminars on like goal setting, time management, those types of things. So it's like 4 different training topics. But if you have like an organization that didn't have funding to pay for you as a speaker, do they have grants like that? Or what are some other examples of, other
Oh
ways
yeah.
grants can be used?
Great question. So the list is extremely long. And I'll first give the caveat, you have to read the grant, right? Not only the eligibility and the due date, which you should do, no, you must do. You also have to read what you can't use the dollars for. So if most times it's telling you what you can't use it for. Like it'll say you can't use it to pay yourself. Some will say you can't use it to pay staff, right? It really depends on the grant opportunity, right? So I also do workshops in person. So if you need to like rent the venue because you don't own the venue, that is something that you could get grant dollars for. You may be able to get what is called operating expenses, which will include people that you need to pay, but not you. So, it depends on the grant. It really depends on the grant. Some will just be like, okay, here's $500 for your business. You use it for business expenses. The part that I normally do, and I didn't want to make the slides too long to pace based on my time here, but I always encourage people outside of grant, you should be tracking your income in your business and your outgoing. You're like what you're spending what you're spending money on. So the expenses in your business, right? So that if you are asked, some of them them will specifically say, after 12 months, show me what you did with the grant dollars. So then you want to track that, be even more granular on those expenses tied to that grant. But for those that don't ask it, if you are doing transactions through your business account, right? It's easy to go and look at your business bank account, your QuickBooks, if you have it, whatever it is, to see what the expenses that you spent dollars on, if you ever need to provide what you use dollars for. A lot of them do not spell out what you can use it for. Most of them will say what you can't use it for. And then you just have to be mindful. Now, because this is always a fast follow question, and I do see you, Anthony. The fast follow question is, so they're not telling me what I use it for. What should I do? And again, it goes back to always track what you're doing. So if they ever ask you and you got other money coming in your business and you got other expenses, $5,000 of it, as an example, you have $5,000 worth of expenses that align to what you did for the grant. But if I were you and you got a $10,000 grant, that woman that was in the video, she got her first grant awarding was $10,000. She has now talked about it because that video was like a few months ago. But her first award of a grant after 3 applications was a $10,000 grant. That's why I play her video. But I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so if you got a $10,000 grant awarding, if I were you, outside of your regular tracking, I would track what I did with that $10,000. Specifically, track what you did with that $10,000, because more times than not, that particular grantor has said do this or not this or whatever it is. So you want to make sure that you can show how you use $10,000. So that would be in addition to your regular booking, which it'll show up regularly in there, but you want to make sure that you're able to have a bit more granular view on that $10,000. But it's more about, Kevin, so to make sure I round out your question for everybody, it's more about what you can't spend it on. Some will tell you this is grant for, I don't know, like, beautifying the front of your store. So that can be awning, that can be signage, that can be whatever. So when it says that, then that's what you have to use it for. But they're very clear. Very, very clear on what is possible for eligibility, what is the due date, the description of the grant. So if it's something specifically that they do not want you to use it for, they won't hide that. And that's why you can't act like you didn't know, because they'll be very clear in what it is that they said that the dollars could be used for. Yes, Anthony.
Hey, morning, Patrina.
Good
Good to see
morning.
you.
Good to see you.
Yes, long time.
Absolutely.
Morning, everyone. Morning, Kevin. So, real quick, Patrina, I think you touched on a lot of that stuff that I was actually going to ask on, but just for record keeping, obviously, if you get any amount, say, for example, that 10,000, and you have one business account, now that money goes into your business account, obviously it should because it's for business expenses. Would you recommend having probably a separate account just for crystal clarity where all funds that are coming out of that particular grant are shown designated, or just as long as you're just documenting, say via check or via voucher, meaning like a EFT, as long as it's all going to that, whatever that purpose is, that should be clear enough for, in the event of auditing? Or
Yeah.
would it be wise to put grants in a separate business account from your everyday expenses so that
Yeah.
it's more, I guess, transparent?
That's not necessary if so I'll say that first. It's not necessary for you to open a grant business bank account. It's not necessary. The documentation is necessary. So if you have a business bank account, not a personal bank account, if you have a business bank account and you have gotten, say, an infusion of $5,000 as a grant, and say it's on March 2nd, I would ensure that I'm tracking. So again, I'm making a little bit of an assumption. I have QuickBooks and I have a business bank account. So, I have the stuff. And then when I get a grant of that size, I then have what I say is really an Excel document. So I'm tracking what I did with that $5,000 grant dollars that I got in as of March 1st. specifically for that, because you're going to have other business expenses during that same period that's not aligned to what you're getting the grant dollars for. But some, like I said earlier, some of the grant dollars is to help you maintain your business operating expenses. So that's regular stuff that you were doing before you got the dollars, you'll do afterwards, right? So what I do encourage, not a separate bank account, but if you want to do that, you can, but that comes with one, opening it, maintaining the minimum balance in it. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you don't overextend yourself and you're not managing it all. So I would take an Excel spreadsheet, populate that dollar amount on when you got it and what expenses from your regular operating bank account that you use that $5,000 for. So I would have that as a what I'll call an addendum to what is tracked through your QuickBooks, through your business bank account, so that if you are asked for it, you can just pull that out. But I wouldn't go as far as opening a whole nother account just for that purpose. No, I have not seen, I don't know of anybody that did that. I've never done that. And I've been able to provide when asked, I've been able to provide the what I did with the money by way of the way I just mentioned to you. And
Yeah.
again, not all will ask for that. And those that want to know, they will tell you that upfront in the application.
So meticulous note taking and spreadsheeting and emails to self and so on and so on, that would be good for just
That would
record
be
keeping
sufficient.
purposes.
Absolutely. When they want something more
Yeah.
specific, they will say that in there. But none of them has said, go open another account so you can show me the account that you paid this from. That is not necessary. Now, personal finance is personal, I would say. So business finance is to each business. If you feel you need to do that so you won't complicate stuff, then you have to do what you need to do to make sure that you can provide what you need to provide. But is it necessary? No. The documentation side of it is necessary. So you want to make sure that documentation aligns to what your account shows. But yeah, they will not ask for bank account. They're going bank account to demonstrate what you did. They're going to ask for the Excel file or the documentation to show that. So yeah. And so this is the other thing the thought I want to leave with you all. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overcomplicate it. Whatever it is that they ask for, a need, they are going to tell you. So if they don't tell you, I would still keep the paperwork, but for $500, I wouldn't do it. When you get to five and above, they're going to ask for it anyway. Not up front, but they'll say, this is the wording. We can come and ask what you did with the five. To this day, only one have done that for the ones that I've gotten. So remember, they're giving this money to a whole bunch of different people, a lot of them, and they do it, a lot of them do it regularly, right? But can they? Yes. So that's why it's important that you track it accordingly. So very important that you do that, but only one has asked for that. And again, it wasn't a surprise. When I filled out the application, I knew that was a possibility. That's why I developed the spreadsheet that I would populate stuff in that I use with the grant dollars that I've gotten.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
All right, good stuff. And then we'll have time at the end, for folks able to stick around for any additional questions. But yeah, thank you so much for that, Patrina. And then actually usually, and we'll go out to you first when we kind of do the our introductions here. So to share anything additional. So basically, what we want you to do is share your name. Also, obviously, as Ms. Dixon mentioned, right, the name of your business, right? So not just the name of your business, not just your name and, right? We learned that today, right? Obviously, name and description of your business. What would make a good referral for your business? So like kind of like your ideal client. And then after you've done that, we want you to go ahead and type your contact information. So I know typically if you're in person, you're able to exchange, physical business cards. So we're going to do our digital business cards this way. So in the chat, go ahead and type in, whatever pertinent contact information. So whether it's your name or website or phone number, or email, you could, after you shared your testimony, you could share that in there. And then at the end of the chat, we'll have time where before we end the Zoom, where we'll give everyone an opportunity to go ahead and save the chat. So you'll be able to kind of connect with people on LinkedIn, or if you want to meet with people one-on-one, especially if you're local and you want to go from virtual to meet with people in person or have another Zoom meeting or a phone call, you'll be able to reach out that way as well. So we always like to start with our guest speaker. So we'll start with you, Ms. Dixon.
Sure. Thanks again for having me. I really appreciate being on as always, and seeing some of the faces that I know that are on the screen. So, as you heard, my name is Patrina Dixon. I am the founder and CEO of It's My Money, which is a financial education firm. A good referral for me would be a high school, college, or business or organization that has a business or organization that has an employee resource group or an employee assistance program where they want financial education done in person or virtually. I would love to do workshops for businesses. My business now is a more of a business to business as opposed to B2C. So I would love an opportunity to host some financial workshop for businesses, nonprofits, organizations, and or high schools or colleges. And thank you so much for the opportunity. You can follow me, and I'll put it in there at it's my money underscore on social platforms. And my website is itsmymoney.info. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrina. All right, we can just go in alphabetical order here by the list here. So next up, always first, Andrew Moran. We'll go to you first. Oh, and then Anthony popped up here too. Well, go ahead, Anthony, since you're unmuted already.
Oh, no, I didn't want to take Andrew's spot. Go ahead, Andrew. All right, since Kevin insisted, good morning, everyone. Anthony Grant. Name of my business is Grant Financial Solutions. So we are located in offices in Windsor, Connecticut. We're in Stratford, Connecticut, but now we relocated to Windsor, Connecticut. So we specialize in financial planning, investments, insurance for business owners, families, individuals. We do employee benefits in the area of life insurance, disability insurance. We do 401k planning, IRAs, you name it. So a good referral for us would be anyone, in business or anyone with a family that wants to create a savings plan or, protect their family with insurances and or just create, legacy planning. So, or enhance business employee benefits. So those are all great referrals for me. One-to-one conversations are always welcomed. And so yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. And we're licensed from Maine all the way to Florida, as far west as California, and as far north as North Dakota. So we have the ability to connect with folks in many different areas of the United States. So thanks again, Kevin, for inviting me. And
Awesome.
Thanks, Patrina, for your excellent wisdom.
You're welcome. Good to see you, my friend.
Likewise.
All right, thanks, Tony. All right, next up, Andrew Moran.
All right. Hey, everybody, thanks. I'm Andrew Moran. I'm also the president of the board of directors for the Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. When I'm not doing that, though, I'm a certified payments professional with Merchant Solutions, LLC. Help businesses more efficiently accept credit cards and other forms of electronic payment. It's good that Patrina's here. I also help businesses get their money and get it now. A little bit different take, though, where she's looking at grants and funding in that manner. I'm talking about electronic payments. So that means, helping businesses collect payments efficiently, through credit card, ACH, through in-store payments, mobile payments, electronic invoice payments, integrations. Basically, make it easier for businesses to get paid, and also make it cost less for them. So that when they are getting their money, they're actually keeping more of their money instead of paying it out in fees. So that's what I do. And any business that accepts electronic payment is one I could consult with and help. And quick testimonial from Patrina as well. I've had a handful of clients over the years that have asked about funding, and I've sent them her way. So definitely a great resource to have here, especially when you tell somebody, hey, I might know where you can get some free money. It just takes a little bit of application, and look like a hero to them. So thank you, Patrina, and thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome. Thank you, too.
Awesome. All right, we have Brigida.
Good morning. I'm not on screen because I actually live in Illinois, so it's just getting to be 8 o'clock here.
Oh, wow.
And I'm getting ready for work. My apologies. I logged in because Patrina sent me the text message, 1. 2, she's full of resources that I always value. And this is where I also give her tips for the next podcast. But I'm from the Jackson County Housing Authority in Illinois. I'm the executive director there. And I just logged in to support Patrina Dixon because I believe in every single thing that she does.
Awesome. Well, thank you for waking up early for us here, supporting Patrina as well. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Let me see. Next on the list, Dr. Felder.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Dr. Chaka Felder McIntyre here. I am based in Connecticut. I'm also a client and a friend of Patrina as well, but most recently a client. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So I am the executive director and founder of a statewide college access organization here in Connecticut. It is called Higher Heights Youth Empowerment Programs. The work that we do is grounded in educational services around post-secondary support for high school students. So a good referral for us would be school districts, communities, anyone who is working with students in order to make sure that they are obtaining whatever their post-secondary fit is. Most recently, we have published through Patrina's publishing company, our textbook, which is called Your Future, Your Choice. And so with that, a good referral for us would be any school district within the United States of America, teachers specifically, or folks who are looking to do work in the classroom to help students and guide them to post-secondary work. Our website is www.higherheightsyouth.net. And my contact information is there. And again, happy to be here and looking forward to the more work ahead.
I'm
Awesome.
so proud of her project. Oh my God, I couldn't wait to come off mute. Sorry, Kevin. I don't mean to hijack your call here. Such an amazing project. I can't wait. I can't wait for, teach educators across the United States to get that project. So I'm sorry, I had to say that. Sorry, Kevin.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Yes, I know my wife and I, we have our daughter she just started her sophomore year of high school. So we're already looking at just everything we can, right, for college prep, getting funding of that nature, right, with scholarships, preparing for that. So no, that sounds definitely very interesting. But yeah, Dr. Feller, yeah, if you could put your information in the chat, maybe
Well, thank you.
the book, that'd be
And,
awesome.
and Shaka,
Yes.
Chaka, make sure you get his as well, because a great connection for you for what you said, especially in the town of Bloomfield. So make sure
Okay, great.
his, yes.
Yeah, if you're in Bloomfield, so I was at least last year the president of the PTO for the Bloomfield High, and then my wife was very very active, with
Okay.
anything related to the school. So yeah, we should definitely, especially if you're in the area, we should definitely connect. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, last two here. Rochelle, if she's able to unmute, so that's my wife, Rochelle, birthday girl, right, from a few days ago, but she's out here to support it. You'll be able to hear from Ms. Dixon as well. But Rochelle, if she's not driving, if she's able to unmute, you can feel free to share. Going once, going twice. All right, so I know she might be driving. And then we have Samela.
Hi, good morning. My name is Samela Hector. I live in Connecticut. I'm a first-time business owner. My business owner name is S&H Sparkling Cleaning Business. I go in by cleaning houses and cleaning businesses for those who needs the help. And
All right.
and I thank Sister Dixon. I say Sister Dixon. I'm sorry. She helped me open up my business, and she's a wonderful person, and I truly thank God for her for helping me try to come up and be a new business owner.
Oh,
Awesome.
you all are amazing. Thank you. You did the work. I just helped guide it.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Brand new business owner. And so, yeah, definitely put your information in the chat as well. So, we obviously folks can connect with you afterwards. I'll share real briefly. So obviously, as I mentioned before, I volunteered for some time on the board with the Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Also volunteer with the R Farm, which is here in Bloomfield. I do have, as I mentioned, Patrina, another kind of like a traditional business that I haven't talked too much about. I've done some work over the last few years, but I do workshops and seminars on specifically, time management, goal setting, like the two major ones that focus most of my kind of time and attention with. Personal development, so I did one with the library recently, specifically on that, the importance of personal development, personal growth, whether it's for personal reasons or business. So I have a few topics. So that I'll probably put the links. This Palachi Family Solutions, the name of that company, the LLC. But I'm also more well known, I'm sure, for being the regional vice president for Legal Shield for upstate New York and New England. We're able to do business throughout the country. Main premise of that is that we give our members the ability to get access to their own attorneys for as low as $38 a month. We do have plans now. We have like 3 different tiers. We do have plans that start at $30 a month, our basic plan. Well, most people have our $38 plan. So we, basically give people that ability to get assistance for personal reasons. We have business plans that are also available as well. My wife and I, we've had it for over 21 years. I've used it, to get, our wills prepared. August is National Make a Will Month, so we've been educating people about that throughout the entire month. So instead of paying over $1,000 for a will, that's actually included as a free benefit within the services. Help with consumer issues. I had an issue where my car wasn't repaired properly. The attorneys made a phone call, saved me over $250 in labor charges by making a phone call on my behalf. And then the last thing we have is, obviously plans for small business owners as well. So, whether it's getting advice for the business, getting business documents reviewed, debt collection letters, because sometimes people don't pay us after we do a work as a small business owner. So one of our members had, a client that she does small business consulting, and the client didn't pay her afterwards. She called into her legal shield provider attorney. The attorney, actually wrote a debt collection letter on her behalf, and it was like thousands of dollars that was owed to her that she was able to get back, thanks to that letter. So a lot of practical day-to-day ways. So if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out. We can kind of go through more details. We have plans for individuals, small business owners, and we're able to offer it as an employee benefit. So if you know anyone who has a company or is an HR director, it doesn't matter if it's 5 employees or 500 or 5,000, we could offer them a plan for as low as $22 a month when it's offered specifically as an employee benefit. So I'll put my information in the chat. And then we do have discounts that we get as members to over, now it's actually over 400 companies that we get discounts as a Legal Shield member. All right, so I'll put that information in the chat so you guys have it. And then for the Bloomfield Chamber, to get more details, so I always encourage people to make sure you support your local chamber, even if it's not if you're not in that particular region, right? So I'm part of the Bloomfield Chamber. I'm also part of the West Hartford Chamber. So it's okay to join more than one chamber, right? if you're outside the region, it's just based on where you're looking to do work in. But bloomfieldchamber.org, you could go to get more details specifically about the Bloomfield Chamber. This is information for our executive director, Vera Smith Winfrey. You could also reach out to Andrew Moran, who's on here, who's the president for the Bloomfield Chamber, to get more details about the chamber. And then we also have some great events that are coming up. We have a directory listing that's also available. So are you on the directory listing, right? So if you're in Bloomfield or you're doing business with individuals, whether it's on the individual or B2B side here in Bloomfield, right, you want to be part of the Bloomfield Chamber directory listing by becoming a member, right? So again, if you go online to get more details on that. And then for upcoming events, we have a huge event coming up on September the 13th, Saturday, September 13th, the Bloomfield Food Truck Festival, where literally we had last year, I don't know if Andrew, you have the exact, but it was thousands of people who came through last year for the food. I mean, like food trucks, they were running out of food. I mean, it was extremely well attended. So I don't know if they might be shut down in terms of booth availability. Is that already closed, Andrew? So it's already closed, but come and join us anyways, right? So it'll be a lot of fun. You meet a lot of great people there. So that's on Saturday, September 3rd, 13th. So reserve the date for that. We also have like a mixer at Jamoke Academy. They actually have a new building there that's available for the community. That's going to be on September the 24th. So again, just stay tuned to the events calendar there to see what else is going on here in Bloomfield, and save the date for our next virtual network event will be on Thursday, October the 16th at 8:00 a.m. So I just want to leave and go ahead and can hit the save button in the chat. So to save the contact information for everyone that posted in here, if you actually open up your chat, there should be like 3 buttons there. And I'm on my computer. It's going to be a little different if you're on your phone. But on the computer, it's like 3 little dots that you go ahead and press on and click on Save Chat. And then I would recommend as soon as it saves, it should pop up where you have the option to open the folder. I would open it immediately because I'll never remember where it's gets saved on the computer. There's some hidden folder somewhere. So go ahead and hit Save Chat, and then you can open it. So that way you can reach out to folks afterwards. So again, thank you for joining us today for our virtual network event. Thank you again, Ms. Patrina Dixon. I know she had another meeting right at the top of the hour to be able to attend. And stay tuned. We'll have the replay also available as well.